Dr. Lee, I know you have experience working with first generation and immigrant youth. I'm curious to know what you would say is unique about this particular population of young people, both in terms of gifts and in terms of concerns that they might hold that youth workers should be aware of.
I think when working with first generation student, immigrant, it's really important to understand their immigration story. How did they get to this country? Why did they come to this country? Who else came with them? And, understanding their immigration history can help you understand them a lot more. And everyone's immigrant story is a little different, just because of relationship and dynamics. So I'll share a little bit about myself. When my family and my immediate family and I moved to the United States when I was 10 years old, I have 3 older siblings. So while we all came together and I think experienced some of that change similarly, some of our immigration experience is also very different because for being one at age 10 was very different than my eldest sister who was 18. Okay, so I got to come in and go into a middle school and kind of start my journey there, whereas she went straight into, having to work and right. So understanding someone's immigration history is really, really important. I think one of the unique themes that you'll see when you're working with first generation and immigrant youth. Again, I just want to make that different. Immigrants and first generation are very, very different. Yeah. So again, defining those terms, I think will be really, really helpful too when we're talking about this. But I think one of the themes that you'll see is a lot of perseverance, a lot of fight in this individual, because there's a lot riding on their success. Their immigration story may include that they came here, their family came here wanting a better chance at life, a better chance at education, a better chance at, and so that comes with a lot of pressure. And in that, I think is a gift because you'll see the pride in these families and the perseverance of working hard and kind of the hustle, if you will. I think that you will hear themes like that. The flip side of that same coin is a lot of pressure. If your whole family name is riding on your success, that's
a teenager.
Yeah, and you're a teenager. That's a big job. Again, I work at a high school and this is college, this is October. November 1st is college first deadlines, right? Early decision deadlines. And we have a lot of immigrant first gen youth who are so scared. Like, this is it, right? Where they get into college is what this whole thing has been about. And they kind of define the decision-making of coming to this country, whether or not it's a good one or not, depending on the college they get into, or the parents, I even feel that, how effective have we been at providing for our children sits on whether or not they get into a good college. It's just so much pressure.
Yeah.
I think another theme connected, not surprisingly, that I see with a lot of immigrant youth is reluctance to seek help.
Yeah.
Almost this shame around seeking help. And I don't mean just mental health help. I think academic help. I think about any other support that isn't easy for folks to reach out to those resources. There's shame that is associated, which is a hard place because for a lot of first gen students, their parents may not be able to help them answer some or navigate kind of the systems in the US. And then coupled with hesitation to reach out, you have a young person who is trying to figure out something they don't know much about on their own. And that can be really hard.
Yeah.
So to summarize all that I just said, it's a little disjointed, but understand their story, their immigration story, help them understand reaching out for resources, talking to you in that moment. It's huge, it's welcome, and it's to be celebrated, and it's wonderful. And to also remember to help them think about different ways that they can identify their success, that their success is not identified only by where they go to college, or their success is not defined only by their grades, but the success may be all the different ways in which in which it shows up for them as how they treat each other, how they not each other, how they treat other people, how they take care of themselves, how they, what good citizens that they are. Those are wonderful ways of measuring one's success.
Right.
If you will.
Yeah.